art department has been part of Baker University close to near its founding, actually, going back to the 1880s through just sort of painting and drawing and stuff. And then over time, the Bennett Art Building came into being in the 1980s. At some point, Bennett was built. And ceramics found a home. Printmaking, we have a printmaking press here that, printmaking classes, the printmaking studio right now is not really being used, but I hope it will be in the future. I mean, so incrementally along the years here and everything, a little bit by a little bit's been added on to the art department. One of the biggest things right now is what we call time-based media, and all that is basically film, animation, and things like that. Other areas we're looking into are sequential art, basically comics and graphic novels. And there's digital art in general, what they call basically a 4D, a four-dimensional thing, which is the time-based stuff. Mm-hmm. So these are areas we want to get into, and to kind of maintain relevancy as far as an art program.
So I started college here in spring 2020, and it was just like a visual language class. It started off really basic. I feel like a lot of the lower tier art classes are more generalized for people, so it is pretty basic, and I feel like the longer you stay in the courses, the more fun it gets. When I had gotten to tour the campus, this is when Inga was still here. I met with both Inga and Russ at the same time, and she was very off the cuff when she was introducing the program. She was like, yeah, you can just do what you want, and you should have some amount of direction and passion for what you're doing. And I was like, okay, this sounds like a challenge. I was warned that the budget for the art department was a bit limiting. To be honest, I don't think I realized the gravity of fault in the budget before I came here. It was a little depressing. It still is a little depressing. It doesn't mean that the art department isn't good. It just means it's really limited in its resources.
In a perfect world, of course, we'd have limitless budgets. I think there are a lot of things we talk about wanting to do, but the finances of offering some of the things we'd like to do are problematic. It'd be great to have more faculty. It would be great to have computer animation software and all of the technology that would really take art to another level and have more 21st century types of skills being shared with our students. We hope that eventually somehow we'll be able to do some of that in the future, but for now it's just incredibly prohibitive in terms of the cost. I don't think it's something we can expect to change. I think if the art program grows, then certainly there's the possibility that resources will be redirected our way. But for now, I don't see that changing in the next several years. I think the greatest recruitment tool we have is Professor Horton. Russ has always been really focused on finding students. He has been known to hop in his car and drive an hour or two away to meet with a high school student who might have interest in coming to Baker. He's really dedicated to recruitment, unlike almost any other faculty member I've seen on campus. Once we got Professor Horton on campus, we saw an increase in the number of art majors we had. So I think that in terms of recruiting, which is always a challenge for any program and at any university, frankly, I think Russ does a tremendous job of reaching out to students, bringing them in, and then keeping them here once they arrive.
The more numbers we get in the program, then the more ability we have to go to the administration and ask for investment in our program to continue to expand into the digital media area. Other things I'd like to see happen. Well, this is sort of pie in the sky dreaming, but why not? Actually have a dedicated media lab, a shop basically with woodworking equipment, welders, everything else that will, kind of allow a sculpture program to develop here. There's a wish list a mile long there, but it's nice to dream. The big goal is to have, I think, art department kind of under one roof. A lot of other departments on campus are all located in that building, and the art department is actually spread out in 3 different buildings: the Mac Lab, the library, Bennett for 3D, and the law for 2D. It'd be wonderful just to have a fine performing arts center in there.
I just wish we could open back up some of the facilities that we actually have. It's not like you're like buying a bunch of new things or like creating an entirely new space. It's just like opening and revitalizing things you already have, which I really wish that could be a thing.
I mean, the other big switch, obviously, is Inga Balch retiring. And with her retirement, we started looking at, where are we going to invest our full-time faculty line? And one of those areas was the digital media end of things. So having done that and invested in that, we're going to have a full-time professor next fall that will be dedicated towards digital photography. We'll be teaching art history courses that she's able to do that very well. And we'll be taking up another section of visual language. So I think we're starting to move in the right direction, and with this individual, she really helps us out with a lot of, helps us out by filling up a lot of holes.
I think just in general, we have a really positive outlook right now in terms of what's happening. The enrollment numbers are a little bit bigger for art. We have a lot of majors right now, as at least historically as art has gone. Professor Horton's doing a lot of good things in that regard. The visiting professor and the adjunct professor we have this semester on campus are doing some really great things. And I think just that sense of what's going to come next. We have a lot of options available to us, but we're not in any hurry to make permanent choices. And so I think that gives us the next several semesters to just kind of play around with things and see what happens, and then we'll have a more educated foundation to make decisions moving forward in any kind of permanent way.